3 ways to guarantee he'll treat you well.
Yep.
If you want to learn about how a man can treat you well, or if you just want to look at Matthew, this is the video for you. The treatments that you want to receive from a man and how you can have more of them in your life. Where are you going, Matthew?
I'm done.
You're done? He's left the building. So Matthew's run off because there's a bunch of ants behind the camera and he was doing a dance and having this sort of 6-minute war with these ants, and it looks like the ants have won. So it's just you and me here. I'm hoping the camera's still on. Think of some treatments that you want from a man. You want a man to be honest with you. You want a man to respect you. You want to feel safe with a man. You want a man who's loyal. You want a man who's a great communicator. These are all really common things that I hear from women, and they're very fair to want from a man. So I'm going to show you how to get more of these things in this video today. The first thing before we get into the content is remember that these things go both ways. Right? So if you want a man to show up this way, it's really important you're showing up these ways as well. You want a man to respect you, you got to be respectful too. You want a man to be honest with you, you got to be honest too. And in fact, a lot of my work with clients is helping them do more of these things in their own life. It's easy to be honest when honesty is easy, but can you be honest about your needs? Can you speak up more? Can you be honest about when something's bothering you? But how do you get men? How do you make sure men are consistently showing up for you in this way? Well, other than bringing it to the table yourself, there's a couple of key mistakes that I see women and clients make that stop men showing up this way and tend to mean that a certain batch of women keep getting the disrespect and then a small batch of women filter in all the guys that respect them and make them feel safe. So all these traits go both ways, but one of the big mistakes that we make with these traits is treating them transactionally. What I mean by that is I get a lot of women who come to me and they say, okay, I'm going to respect men when men respect me. Or I'm going to be honest with men as long as a man is honest with me. And this makes a lot of sense with this on the surface, right? Why would you want to be honest with someone who's not being honest with you? But the problem is when you show up transactionally is preemptive strikes, right? Imagine you and I are on a date, right? And I'm sure it'd be a great date. But imagine you and I are on a date and I say, okay, I'm going to be honest with this woman if she's honest with me. I'm going to respect her if she respects me. When you're treating values transactionally, it can be very tempting to preemptive strike, which is, okay, if this is my respect and honesty and loyalty, I'm going to take this off the table if it's not returned. But then I don't want to lose. So I'm also going to take it off the table if I suspect you're going to take it off the table, right? And we get into this mindset where it's like, are you going to be honest with me? I'll decide if I'm going to be honest with you based if you're going to be honest with me. And you end up in this game, right, where both people are making predictions about if the other one's going to be honest, and inevitably whoever gets the most scared gets triggered first and they stop being honest, then the other person stops being honest in response, and no one's being honest. So even though this transactional approach to values is tempting and kind of makes sense on the surface, you've really got to drop it if you truly want men to show up in this way. You've got to say, I will be honest unconditionally. Not because a man deserves it, but because this is a value that I hold true. You've got to say, I will respect men unconditionally. Not because I'm waiting to see if they respect me, but because this is important to me. I will be loyal unconditionally. I will make a man feel emotionally safe unconditionally. And a man needs to do the same if he wants women to respect him and if he wants to allow women to, be honest with him and to feel safe with him, etc. And I know what you're probably thinking here. You're thinking, wait a minute, hang on, Mark. I'm going to get used here if I show up unconditionally. I've been in that situation where I was unconditionally honest and a man wasn't honest back. That shit didn't work. So now I'm only being honest with men who are honest with me. Which brings me to the second thing you got to do, which is you got to have really good boundaries. You got to have them. The transactional approach, which is I'll be honest with you if you're honest with me, is usually a response to not having boundaries in the past. Which is to say, okay, in the past I was unconditionally honest. And then someone wasn't honest with me. So now I'm only going to be honest if you're honest with me, and we're both like taking honesty on and off the table depending on the transaction. When you are unconditionally honest, but you still filter out and move away from people who are not the same with you, something really interesting happens. Is the men who resonate with unconditional honesty, they show up in your life, and the men who are not willing to be that way still get ruled out of your life. Right, so any value you want from a man, if you want loyalty, if you want respect, if you want honesty, you've got to show up in your dating, in your relationships with that unconditional. But you can still have an unconditional honesty and move away from people who aren't reciprocating it. And it's only by balancing those two Can you truly guarantee that all the people you filter in are going to be unconditional in that trait like you, and all the people you filter out are going to be transactional or conditional in it? So I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if it does, if you can relate, or let me know in the comments if it doesn't and you didn't know what I'm talking about through this whole video. Love to hear either way.